right, guys. So we're still on the Chapter 4 assessment breakdown. We've covered conditional statements, then we did transversals, then we covered the two distance problems, and now we're going to do the angle side match questions. And if you remember, we said that there were 5 of them on the assessment. Let's do those questions now. The first question says that Sean has 2 dogs and they give us their names. And they tell us that he stands at point S in the diagram and that he throws 2 sticks. And then they tell us that Rovers catches one at a point R and that which is 41 feet away from Sean, and then Max catches the other at point M, which is 18 feet from Sean. And then here is our diagram. So here's Sean. The first dog catches it 41 feet away. Then the other dog catches it 18 feet away. And the question is asking us if triangle RSM forms, if we have a triangle that forms in this way here, it says which would be the length in feet of this side here? What could be the possible length in feet of this side here? Well, we already know the rule that says that these 2 legs here are always going to be bigger than this third side here. So if I add them together, 41 plus 18 gives me 59. So I know that the length of segment RM is always going to be less than 59 feet. However, if I subtract them, 41 minus 18, then I also get the minimum size that this has to be here. So 41 minus 18 gives me 23 feet, which means then that RM is going to be greater than 23 feet. So I know that this length of this triangle here is always going to be smaller than these 2 put together, 59, but always bigger than their difference, 23. It'll be somewhere between 23 and 59. The next question asks us here to put the angles in order from longest to shortest. Now we have to be careful with that because they're asking us to put them from longest to shortest. From longest to shortest. And chances are we're very accustomed to doing the opposite. We're probably used to putting them from shortest to longest. So let's do that. Let's label our triangle. Let's take a look here. Well, I know that 50 degrees is the smallest angle, and that's going to be across from the smallest side. So I know that this side is my smallest. Then this is my next biggest one. So I know that this side here is going to be my medium size. And this is my biggest angle. So I know then that this side here is going to be my largest side. But remember, the question is asking you to order them from longest to shortest. Let's take a look at another question. In the following question, they show us a diagram. And they tell us that, in the information, they tell us that AB is congruent to DE. Then they tell us that AC is congruent to DF. Okay? By the way, I notice how I put 2 dashes there, because if I put 1, then I would be saying that this is an isosceles triangle, and they did not indicate that in any way possible. See, they tell us that AB is congruent to DE, so I mark them. AB is congruent to DE. They tell me that AC is congruent to DF, or here's AC congruent to DF. And then they tell me that during construction they determined that the measure of angle BAC is 35 degrees. Well, here's angle BAC. The vertex of that angle is the letter A, so this is going to be 35 degrees. A is the vertex. And here I have angle EDF. The vertex of this angle is the letter D. EDF, which is 33 degrees. And they want us to conclude which side is bigger than the other one. Well, if this is 35 degrees it's pointing to this side, and this is 33 degrees, and it's pointing to this side. And my question to you is, which one of these sides is it going to be bigger? Is BC going to be, remember, this is coming from 35 degrees, and this is coming from 33 degrees in between the same set of sides. So is BC going to be greater than or less than EF? If you guess that BC is greater than EF, then you guessed correctly. In our next question, they give us some information. They tell us that GR is 11, BR is 8, and BG is 7, which I have here in my triangle. And then they want to know which statement is true about the angles in triangle RGB. Well, they want information about the angles. Well, they give us the sides. Well, let's take a look here. This is my smallest side, so I know that R is going to be my smallest angle. Then I know that I have number 8, which is pointing to the letter angle G, so I know this is my medium angle. And then I have the number 11, which is across from angle B, so I know that B is my biggest angle. And then with this information, you can determine what is the correct answer depending on what they're asking you. If they're asking you which is the greatest, which is the biggest angle, you know that it's going to be B. If they're asking you which is the smallest angle, you know it's going to be R. And our last question on triangles, on triangles in matching angles and sides. They say, it says, John wants to make a triangular garden. Okay, which of the following are possible dimensions? And they give us a set of dimensions for the triangle. Remember that whenever you have a triangle, and let's say this is A, this is B, and this is C, remember that this side here and this side here together, that two sides are always going to be bigger than this third side here. Remember the inequality that said AB? Well, let's not use AB here. Let's use BC here. That BC, right, side BC plus side what? AC. AC is always going to be greater than what? Greater than side what? AB. So this side here plus this side here is always bigger than this third side. Are these two sides here going to be the same size as this one here? No, they'll never be equal. These two together are always going to be what? Greater, bigger. So with that information, let's take a look here. Let's take a look here. I have two sides of a triangle here, and two sides are always bigger than the third. Are these two sides together bigger than this third one here? No, they're not. So I know that that cannot be an answer. Look at this triangle here. I have these two sides added together, and they're equal to the third side. Are two sides of a triangle ever equal to the third side? No, they have to be what? They have to be greater. So is this a possibility? Probably not. Let's take a look here. 6 and 8. Okay, 6 and 8 are bigger than my third side. 8 and 10 together are bigger than this side here. 10 and 8 are bigger than this side here. So far, this looks pretty good. This looks like a possibility. Let's look at this triangle here. How about 8 and 12? What's 8 plus 12? Well, 8 plus 12 is 20. So you're telling me that these two sides of a triangle added together are equal to this third side, when I know that they should be what? They should be what? They should be greater. And is that happening here? No, it's not. So that is not a viable choice either. So our answer would probably be C.